Welcome everyone to another edition of the DIY Guy. Now today we're going to be boarding this pool. There's many ways to board a pool. Today we're going to be utilizing the method of boarding it out of wood beams. And here is the before of it. We're going to stretch boards across horizontally, cover it with plastic, and then put a layer of metal on top of it to secure it. So there's your before. I'm going to go ahead and get about half of it started, then I'll be right back. So as you can see, I've went ahead and laid the first board, and that's basically what we're going to do to start this entire project. We're going to take these boards. They are Douglas fir 2x6, 20 feet long. That could vary per project, but for this example we need the 20-foot boards. So we're going to take these, and each board we lay, we're going to lay them 16 inches apart, and we're going to do that for the entire length of this pool. So the first step is to take your boards, more than likely it'll be a 20-foot board, and you start laying those out 16 inches apart horizontally across the pool. So here's just the first 4 boards. You just lay them out flat. We're going to go ahead, and once we get it all the way down, they won't be flat. We'll stand them up on their side. What I mean by that is they'll each get stood up. Instead of being flat, they'll get stood up that way. So to better illustrate, instead of being flat, they'll turn on their side like that. So once we get them all out, we'll go ahead and start arranging them to actually screw them together. Now here we're about halfway through of laying out the boards. The first 3 or 2 you can see aren't even, but I'll just push those up to make sure that they're all flush. And we're going to continue this process until we reach the end, and then we'll go to the next step, which will be turning them upright and screwing them in. As you can see, more boards are being laid out, and you just want to go around at any time you like and just look at the spacing. Make sure when you get to that point that all of these are lined up. I see that they're a little off, so I'll go ahead and fix those when we get to the next step. But so far you see the boarding is starting to take shape, so I'll go ahead and pause and return once we're at the next step. Now that all the boards are laid out across the pool, you're going to start doing your sides. And as you do your sides, you just lay the board down. You pick your board that all the other boards are going to be measured with. So that board right there, we're going to then make each one of those boards connect with that board. And you do everything rough hand first before you actually start screwing things together, because you don't want to do things twice. So we have another board that we're going to do the same thing with. We're going to take that board there, bring it on over, and then we'll start building a box around the entire frame. And as soon as I get to that next step, I'll go ahead and start that part of the video. Now you can see the frame starting to come together as like a little outer box. Those boards down at the back are uneven. However, you don't want to start spending too much time doing anything until you actually start screwing things in. So we have this first section of the frame done, so we'll actually start getting our screws, flipping the boards upright, and start drilling them in. And once we drill in this first half, you can always go to the other side where you see there's a lot more concrete to play with, and you can always adjust those. But this side you have very minimal due to the slope and the angle of the pool. So always identify where you have room to work with and where you don't, because one thing about it is you can't invent more concrete to utilize. So we'll go ahead and start screwing these in, and I'll give you an update later on in the video. So now that you have your box frame made out, you can start picking up the pieces, turning them on their side, and screwing them in. So this first one we're about to get started with, instead of laying flat, it's turned up on its side. And yeah, if you're thirsty, get you some McDonald's. And then take your drill, nice long screw that'll stretch the length of the 2x6 and adequately go into the other one. And you can see how that's lined up there. That'll get pressed down, and then your box will start to form as it should. So I'll go ahead and screw a couple of these in and show you how it looks afterwards. So as you can see, the first half is coming along nice and squared up. All the pieces are standing on their sides instead of laying flat like those. And what you're going to do, you're going to come across, when you're doing your edges, your beam is going to meet, because of course it's not long enough, so that's only a 20-foot section. So you're going to have to put these two pieces together. And how you do that, you just bring that piece together like that. And then you're going to take your screwdriver, your drill, not your screwdriver. You're going to have it at an angle, and then from there, that didn't work, but put it at an angle, get it starting a little. And hope it doesn't do what it just did, which is split, but as you can see, it's in there solid as a rock. So it isn't that significant that it's split. It isn't holding any structure or anything, so it's okay. If you want to prevent the split, pre-drill the hole and the wood won't split, but I didn't care. But that's how you get those two pieces together. So just a quick follow-up. There's the boards that are laying flat, and there's the boards. Probably hear some roosters. We're out in the country doing this job. But there are the boards that we've turned on their right side up. So you can see how this is starting to come together. Seeing how it's starting to shape up. And this is how your project should look. And that side that I put together, that's it right there. So again, the cracked piece really doesn't matter. It is all flowing as it should. So when you're all done with your framing, this is what it should look like. Nice, squared away, framed in. You can see all the boards are no longer laying flat, but are standing upright. And that's how you want to do your frame. Now the next phase in this is putting your black plastic sheeting over it. So that's what it looks like. You can get that from Home Depot. Black plastic sheeting. This is 6 mil. See right there, the mil just indicates the thickness of the plastic, and this is 10 feet by 100 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and start rolling that out, and as soon as I get to a step to update the video, I'll go ahead and flash back in. So how I'm going to roll this out, it's 100 feet. I haven't come across a pool that's more than 40, 50 feet. They really don't build them bigger than that. It's not common. So your best bet when you do this is to start at the edge, roll it out, and then cut it in half. And if you need more, then you use the second piece you just cut off to cover it in full if you have a wide pool like this. So there she is, all rolled out. We'll just go ahead and make our cut. Now this additional portion of the roll is going to be another 50 feet. You want to give it a little extra hang so you can wrap it around the edges. Just take your standard box cutter, and make the cut. So now that it's all cut, you'll take a corner, have someone on the other end, and just start pulling it over like so. So I'll go ahead and get one side covered, and then I'll tune back in. And that's what the first half is going to look like once you get your sheet stretched out. When you get it done, you then want to use a staple gun and just go around the edges. Put your staples in, and that's how you're going to secure this sheeting without it flying up later. Then you're going to get you, after you've done all of the plastic, you're going to get you a roll of this wire here. It's called welded wire. When I purchased this 3 feet by 100 feet. And you're going to lay it out the same way that you laid out the plastic. Right near the pool. Kick it out to your length. Cut it. In order to cut it, you're going to need some wire cutters. Not electrical wire cutters, but ones that can actually cut through metal, just like so. And they cut through them like butter, so get you a pair of those. That's what you'll need to cut the wire to length. And as soon as we lay out this wire, the pool will be complete. And here's what the finished product looks like. You have, of course, your wood frame, your plastic sheeting, and then to top it off, you have your metal top to secure the plastic and just further secure the project as a whole. As you go around, you'll staple, which is probably what you hear in the background, all of the plastic down in areas where it needs to be. Staple the metal down in areas where it needs to be to make sure that this stays tight and secure, until you feel like removing it. But this is how you board a pool. For a full list of all the materials that you will need, look in the description, and I'll see you next time.